Hey guys, how you doing today? Dan here with Dan's 30-foot Dory. Just going to give you an update on what I'm doing. I've purchased a few items. I've closed certain items up, and I'm just here to inform you exactly what's going on. So here we go. As you can see behind me, I got the 30-foot Dory all wrapped up for the season. It's September. It's the 11th or 12th today. I'm not keeping track. I believe it's the 11th. And it was sunny this morning. It was beautiful this morning, and the clouds are moving in. Welcome to Alberta. Probably around October, it's going to get really nasty, cold and windy, and really uncomfortable. So it's coming. So the boat now is completed. The wrap up is that's it. To wrap up to the season is here. I've got poly 6 mil poly over the top of the boat, and then I got this blue tarp over it, and it's going to be sitting there till next spring. What have I completed this season? Well, let's see. It's been a good year. It's been a good year, even with the COVID-19 and the sudden spike in the price of lumber, as everyone knows. I've done pretty well. So let me cap on what I've been doing here. So in 2020, I started purchasing materials for this boat. And at the end of 2020, I guess the COVID-19 hit, and lockdowns and restrictions were implemented. Then all of a sudden, the wood prices shot up through the roof, and big time, and it stopped a lot of people from doing a lot of things, which is fine. It happens. I was lucky enough to purchase all my materials in 2020. About 95% of the materials I needed were already purchased and stuffed in my shed. I have videos on that. And I'm just lucky because I racked up the price of bills so far. I'm at $2,046 in total for wood purchases, screws, glues, and that kind of thing, and 2x4s. And yeah, so I'm sitting at about $2,046. And the hull is complete. It's complete according to Jeff Spira International plans. So I'm really happy about that. Now the only thing I did different, and you've seen it on my last video, is I covered the bottom in 2x4s. Now the only reason I did that for, instead of putting plywood down, is that plywood was $110 a sheet. And I needed 7 sheets to actually cover the bottom properly. And that wasn't going to happen, okay? I'll be honest with you. I couldn't do that. It was an expenditure I just did not have in my wallet. So I stood around for almost a week wondering what to do with the bottom. Came to a standstill, and it was really bothering me. And then I looked at the structure covering the boat, and I thought, oh, a Dan idea. I've decided to turn around and see how much lumber I had. 2x4s by 20, 2x4s by 8, 2x4s by 6, and a couple of 2x6s by 8. And yeah, so I got a crazy idea. I took all that lumber apart, I took the structure apart, and yeah, I started to apply it to the bottom of the boat. So it's glued and it's screwed on the side of the 2x4s, across the frame. It's all glued and screwed. So by the time I was done with what I had, I was seriously about halfway across the boat. It did 50% of the boat. So it cost me probably $355 of material to cover the boat. Yeah. And most of the other stuff I had, I got some lumber from somebody else. I purchased some lumber to put on the bottom of the boat, and I was able to get to the other side. So I think I wrapped the bottom up for about $400. So that was good. That's good. Now, using 2x4s, I don't know. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know. Now, I was watching a lot of the tips from a shipwright, and that fella seems to have figured everything out, and I like his work. And he made a skiff, and his wood went across the boat, not length of the boat. I went with the length of the boat because I just didn't see no sense to cut down the 2x20s and the 2x8s and the 2x6s I had. Why would I cut them down? So I had enough material to stagger them across the bottom of the boat, glue and screw them down. So that's what I did. So I finally completed. Now I am at the back of the boat. I'm on the starboard corner of the boat at the transom. I'm trying to remember these names. And there's a 4x4 section there that I actually did in 18 mil plywood. Now I didn't want to waste basically a sheet of material. So I did that corner, doubled it, glued it, screwed it together, and I filled that corner in with plywood, about 4 feet by 4 feet worth, and doubled. So a 2x8 sheet worth of plywood of 18 mil birch. I was really serious about using up what I had purchased. If I hadn't used that, that would have been the equivalent of one sheet wasted. So, yeah, I'm really tight. I'm really tight. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know. I really don't know if was that the right thing to do? Don't know. It's still screwed down on the frames. It's still glued down. I offset the second layer. It's glued down and screwed down. Was that the right thing to do? Right up beside my 2x4s? Don't know. That's what I did anyway, okay? That's what I did. So I got a little corner, 4x4 corner on the starboard side at the rear of the transom, done in 18 mil plywood. And the rest of it's all 2x6, 2x4s mostly, and I pieced everything together. Now I put my whiskey plank in 2 weeks ago. I have a video out and showing the 2x6s going in, and I paid $21 for those, so the price hadn't gone down around this area in wood yet, but I wanted to finish it up. Couldn't wait anymore, so I bought three of them. It turns out I only needed two and one 2x4x8. So I took the other by 6 and I put it aside. I went to the local guy who opened up down the road here. I blew the $6.70 and I bought a 2x4x8, and the length fit in perfectly. The width was just a little bit of overlap off the outside edge. I screwed and I glued that in. Then I took my plane and I contoured everything in, and I was done. And that happened a couple of weeks ago. Now the video you're probably going to watch on that, you're going to see that I didn't actually complete the whiskey plank. That went in later. I didn't have my video going, and yeah, I didn't show the last piece going in. I am so sorry. I see videos from people doing the last plank, and they're going, hey, the last plank, this is it right here. It's going in. It's going to get screwed in, glued in. It's going to get... I didn't do that. Sorry, really I am. But let me tell you, I was excited to finish that after I took the electric plane to it, and that completed the covering of the bottom of the hull. And I may next spring I may just do a small video on this is what we're about to do, and this is what I did last spring, and here is my whiskey plank. And it turned out to be a pretty narrow piece after it was all shaped and planed and everything, and it was cool. Okay, so I'm just letting you know the whiskey plank went in. I am so sorry that I didn't videotape it. All right, now talking about videotaping, I am doing this video on a camcorder that I have purchased through, of course, Amazon. It's not an expensive one, and to me it wasn't really a cheap one either. Okay, so I got something like, if there was 1 to 10, this is probably a level 3 video cam. Okay, my phone crapped out on me. A crack went through the lens, and it happened to go through the camera lens, and I was getting this little shady reflection in the videos I was taking. So that sort of bothered me real bad. So I purchased this video cam, and I have since also noticed that when I was doing videos that I would come in and out because I'm moving around, or I have to walk back to the video cam or the iPhone to talk, to say my piece and then go back to what I'm doing. So I was looking up remote mics. As I install it in the back of the camera. The other one I wear on my neck, that little bobber that people wear. So, and it's great because I did my last 2 videos. Did I do my last 2 videos? No, the one video before that I was wearing it. It works. I can move around up to 1,000 feet with it supposedly, and it'll look like I'm just talking to you right in front of the camera, which is cool. So what that's going to do for me is that I can wear that while I'm working and talk to you and let you know what I'm doing without actually turning around and walking to the camera every time I want to say something. So I think that's an improvement. Really, I think it is. The only thing left I need to do is edit my material. There's a lot of stuff in here I may have that you really don't need to listen to, but it's there because it's a non-stop video. My camera also cuts out the videos for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why. It'll play for 10 minutes, then start another video over again. So if I load it on YouTube, I actually have to load twice. Yeah, and then you watch the first one, then you see the second one. I don't know why that's happening. I'm still learning, okay? I also did some video on 4K. That's very nice. So I went back to 1080p, 60 FPS, and it's actually producing a better picture. So I'm sticking with that. And I don't got a 4K television anyway, so I really don't care. Okay? The technology's there. I don't think everybody has it yet, and that's what I was told from a friend of mine that knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. So, okay, so I'm learning. Where are we at now? Where else do we at? Okay, so the boat is finished. The bottom's done. I've covered it up for the season. Wow. I got a new video camera. I have a remote mic system. I'm growing here. Today, of course, I have the one that came with the unit because I'm not moving around. I'm standing right in front of the camera. And this is like the third time I've done this, so hopefully it's a good one. So moving on. The only thing left for me to do right now on the bottom of the hull here and the sides is to fiberglass it. Now, I went out and I got priced for fiberglass. I've never purchased the stuff myself before out of pocket. And 2 layers of 6-ounce fiberglass came out to $601 for me. And that's 120 lineal feet, which gives me 2 layers of fiberglass as required according to Jeff Spire's plans. Yeah, okay, so that wasn't too bad. It was a good purchase. I'm not hurting, okay? That was fine with me. So I have purchased the fiberglass mat for this project. Now, they also suggested, as we were talking, the experienced fellow in the glass, they've been around since 1948, so I'm trusting they know what they're talking about. He suggested, he asked me, first of all, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to, on the videos, I noticed people throw it over the top of the boat and they let it drape down and they let it settle. And he goes, okay, well, what are you going to do when you get to the stem? And I looked at him and I kind of went, what? So what he was explaining to me is simply that if you put the material on the top and you run it on the side and you run it forward, Grandma wants you. That is my grandchild, and she doesn't know I was videotaping. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, it gathers at the front, so they suggest trimming it to the shape of the boat and using a 3-inch tape to seam the corners twice, 2 layers, right? And I thought that was a pretty neat idea, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to get into that next spring, or next summer, I should say. I'm going to spend the winter purchasing the epoxy. It's going to be running around $1,200. I need about 8 to 9 gallons, according to the drawings on Jeff Spire's plans. So, yeah, that's where I'm headed. Let's see. That is really all I have to tell you right now is the news that I got the mic, I got the fiberglass to cover the boat. The boat's wrapped up for the season. The only other videos I'll probably be posting will be purchasing some of the resin during the winter season. I may do a small in the house talk about what I've purchased and how it all works. It's not total boat. I'm sorry about that. It's a little bit more expensive. What it turned out to be, the total boat products, the name brand products, they're actually giving you, it's costing a little bit more and you're getting a little less. The stuff I want to purchase, you're actually paying a little less and getting a little bit more, if that makes sense, okay? So for 3 gallons, I'm paying $4.35 for the other stuff. The same company owns both products. So I'm going to go with that. I mean, it's all about saving some money, but the product is still used by boat builders, so I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, so anyway, thank you for watching. Now listen, I've got 34 subscribers this year since I've started in the last 10 months, and that's super. I'd like to thank all of you for subscribing. And of course, I've got thumbs up too. So if you have any interest in my videos at all, regardless, please subscribe. Supposedly that helps me out, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure you've heard that before. And please give me a thumbs up. There's a bunch of guys at work. I found out a little while ago that they were actually watching my videos, and I found out through somebody else that came down and spent the day working with me at my end of the business over there. And EFC, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're watching my videos. Some of the guys said they had a good laugh. Well, I'm glad I'm entertaining, because if I'm not, I guess that's a sad thing. Yeah, okay, so thank you very much. All those subscribes from local all the way down to Texas, thank you very much, guys. I'm going to try to get a little bit more creative as time goes by, and we still have the top of that dory to finish, so I'm still a little ways away from actually being completed. And whoa, there's a wind blowing up here. Whoa. And yeah, I got a little bit of ways to go before we're completed. So after the bottom's done, the videotape for the fiberglassing is done. Don't forget there's bottom paint that has to be done on the boat too next summer to complete it before I can flip it. Yeah, it might be a third season just to try to finish off this boat. We'll see what happens. Okay, so